What's up, Epic 7 players? The Hall of Trials is out, our first foray into boss DPS battles, with the rewards being juicy, unique weapons that amplify a random hero's skill in a similar way you'd actually would expect them to get buffed in a patch. But is it all worth the hype? Well, you're gonna find out. Welcome to my guide for the Hall of Trials. The Hall of Trials, located in the battle menu, is the newest high-end content that most of us have been waiting for. It brings an exciting new boss challenge that will change every month, where players have to strategize their teams to get the best score for the particular challenge. The score grades range from D to SSS, with these thresholds as shown. The grades determine the outcome payout of the new currency used to exchange for the new unique weapons. The new currency is called Wisdom's Gaze. Not G-A-Y-S, but G-A-Z-E. Gaze. Getting SSS rank gets you 25 wisdoms, but it is really hard to do and requires high-end gear or the right type of unit for the job. But all that effort just gets you 5 more currency compared to A rank, which is way easier to achieve for majority of mid to late game players. So don't stress too much over not getting SSS. And in fact, people would probably want to try to build auto teams that can get them at least A rank or higher instead, rather than going through the RNG fest it usually takes to achieve SSS every battle. At least for free-to-play players without uber gear like myself. It actually took me a couple hours of fiddling with gear and testing units out to get the right comp, and then rely on RNG to get the result you see here. So again, considering the gap between the amount of wisdoms you get, don't stress over not being able to achieve SSS rank. SS or S or even A rank are certainly fine enough. To partake in these Hall of Trial battles, it requires a new time-limited currency called Book of Retribution. Think of it like Raid. Each week you'll only be able to attempt them a certain amount of times before having to wait till the weekly reset to get more. In this case, you get 3 books to attempt the trials a week. You can get 5 more per week for a total of 8 if you buy them from the normal shop, but at 120 Skystones per book, it's likely too costly for most to be worth it. I personally don't recommend doing so unless you really need the exclusive equipment. Luckily, you can still attempt the boss through practice battles. Checking the box allows you to test your teams and see how high of a score you can get without wasting a book. Your score will obviously not count, but it's nice to test the mechanics of the battle to get an idea of how you should tweak or attempt it. Also, if RNG fails you through an official run using a book, you can always yield before you kill the boss or your team is wiped and get back the book you spent and retry the run, like pretty much any other stage. So if you don't think you're gonna get a high score, or if RNG screws you in the butthole by killing your DPS or your healer, just yield and try again. Each boss battle comes with unique attributes you see here. Gimmicks, if you will, that you'll have to play around, which are supposed to change weekly. For Kayron here, he comes with 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages, so you want to capitalize on the advantages and play around the disadvantages. The first week of Kayron, for example, unhealable debuff is a must to bring since it increases your damage by 50% while it's on him, and mages are powered up for the battle as well. The flip side is rangers become less effective for this fight, and he's immune to the hit chance debuff. Additionally, the boss has further gimmicks from his actual skills in battle that you have to play around. Furthermore, each boss has a certain amount of phases, a normal phase, and then a weakened phase. Normal phase usually has mobs and the boss plays like a normal boss. While in normal phase, they gain a rage meter. The longer you battle it out in normal phase, the more this rage meter builds, and once full, their power is greatly increased to the point where you're basically gonna get wiped out. But if you drop their health to 0 before then, they enter a weakened state. While in this state, the rage bar is replaced with a daze bar, and they're unable to move. In Kayron's case, his defense is broken, so he takes a ton of damage in this phase. Your main objective is to set up prior to this weakened state, buffing your team if need be, getting your debuffs ready, and saving your best damage skills to maximize them during the weakened state. This is how people are getting SSS scores, by dealing a lot of damage in the boss's weakened state. While in the weakened state, the daze bar is filled up for every turn your heroes take. When it reaches full, they go back to normal phase. Using Kayron as an example, there's a total of 2 weakened states and 3 normal phases. It is important to note that each normal phase becomes stronger after the weakened state, so you can look at it like normal phase 1, normal phase 2, and lastly normal phase 3, with phase 3 being the hardest after the second weakened state. Once the boss's health drops to 0 in the last phase, they die, and you get a clear bonus. In Kayron's case, it was a 700,000 clear bonus, meaning you needed to score a minimum of 3.1 million in order to obtain SSS rank after killing him. If you can't kill the boss, you don't get any bonus, so keep that in mind. Of course, the entire point of these battles is to get the new exclusive equipment. So far we have 4 heroes to choose to get the equipment for: Destina, Rose, Chloe, and ML Silk, which SG have said will be rotated out each month. It remains to be seen if we'll get 4 new heroes added each month, or only a certain amount will be rotated out and added in. New being new in the rotation, I mean, not new heroes specifically. Each exclusive equipment gives 1 out of 3 random skill upgrades, as well as having an additional substat that also has a random range. It costs 40 wisdom to buy one of these, which again, you'll get one of the effects listed here, so it is a bit of a gamble when it comes to getting the skill you want, as well as getting a high substat effect too. Sucks we can't choose, but at least it's better than being tied to gacha like it is in King's Raid. Considering we get 3 tokens a week and SSS rank gives you 25 wisdom, the max amount of wisdom you can get a week is 75, so each month you'll be able to purchase 7 equipments before they're rotated out. Should be plenty enough for one hero, but obviously not enough for all of them. Now, the devs also said that rotated heroes will have their equipment craftable in the Alchemist's Steeple. But I have a feeling it's going to cost more wisdom to craft that way, and likely will still be random and you won't be able to choose the effect like people are presuming. So for those saving up, keep that in mind. Of course, if you don't have these current heroes, then you might as well save up, but definitely use all your books each week, as your favorite 4 to 5 star hero might get exclusive equipment one day, and these are definitely upgrades worth grinding for. And that should wrap it up for the general guide on the Hall of Trials. Obviously each challenge will be different, but personally I had fun tinkering around with units and finally getting SSS on Kayron. I think the challenge is challenging, and the rewards are basically buffs we can choose for our heroes, so that's certainly something desirable for people with said units. I had ML Silk on Vidra account, so that's why I went try hard mode for SSS, and luckily got her best skill upgrade at 9 speed. However, I did shift a ton of gear around, so without the free unequip event, I don't think I'd shoot for SSS if it took this much tinkering and luck RNG to get SSS, personally. Especially if the advantages and disadvantages are going to change every week. I don't think I can keep up with using new units just to play around each week's mechanics. Example, next week, Kayron flips the switch, making Rangers stronger and Mages weaker, so yeah. I ain't got enough good gear to make that many units viable options to use to get SSS, and I imagine most people are in the same boat as me. I guess I'll settle for S-rank battles each week for a total of 6 crafted equipments a month. So, what do you guys think of the new Hall of Trials challenge and equipment? Are you getting equipment for any of these current heroes or saving up? And what is your highest score in the Hall of Trials thus far? Let me know down in the comments below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more Epic 7 epicness. But before you go, here's my long ass run to get SSS as an example showcase of how generally each battle will play out. Spread the clip up a bit to make this video shorter, enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
誰かのささやき音はいつか石とな